Thinking about relocating to Phoenix? Before you start picking neighborhoods on hearsay or Google searches, let's clear some things up. Because getting it wrong here doesn't just mean a longer commute. It could mean landing in the completely wrong spot for your lifestyle. Now, I've worked with enough buyers to know this. Half of you are showing up with HGTV dreams, but next door nightmares. Today, we're breaking down the real Phoenix, beyond the stereotypes and outdated blog posts. Let's start with the Biltmore, which is often tagged as only for the rich, but that is an oversimplification. Yes, the Arizona Biltmore Hotel is iconic. Presidents have stayed there, and it's home to a premier golf course. But the neighborhoods are far more diverse, not just in terms of who lives there, but what's available. The Biltmore area, located around 24th Street and Camelback, has seen a shift over the last 5 to 7 years. While median home prices hover around $900,000, there's a broad range of housing options. You'll find historic ranch-style homes, mid-century remodels, high-rise condos that start in the 400s, and even some townhomes that start under $600,000 if you move quickly. Now, the Biltmore area is known as our financial district, and Arcadia, another neighborhood that is highly desirable here in the Phoenix area, sits very close to the Biltmore, which is another draw here. Younger professionals and families are also moving to this area. They are attracted to the proximity to downtown, excellent private schools nearby, and access to the 51 freeway. The Biltmore Fashion Park is not just about Neiman Marcus. Locals know it for staples like True Food Kitchen and Seasons 52, and upscale happy hour spots that don't make you feel like you're crashing a retirement party. Another underappreciated feature, the canal paths and the unofficial Biltmore Loop, which is a walkable, bike-friendly area tucked behind the golf course. This is where locals walk their dogs, push strollers, or train for their next half marathon. It's also one of those few areas in Phoenix that actually has shade trees. So is it pricey? Yes. But is it exclusively for trust fund babies and investment bankers? Absolutely not. If you want character, central access, and a polished vibe without going full Paradise Valley, Biltmore is a smart bet. Now let's move into South Scottsdale, a place that is often written off as one big neon-soaked bachelorette party. Now, Old Town's reputation is not all wrong. It's got the nightlife, the club scene, and yes, party bikes and golf carts with LED lights everywhere. But move a mile or two south or east of the main drag, and the tone shifts dramatically. South Scottsdale is a mix of 1950s ranch-style homes, custom remodels, and smaller new construction pockets. Home prices have jumped here in the last decade, but you can still find well-maintained homes here between $600,000 and $800,000, sometimes less if you're willing to renovate. The schools here are not all top-ranked, but you will find some gems, especially in the charter schools like Basis and Great Hearts. Now, Skysong, ASU's Innovation Center, is a huge anchor for this area. You've got tech jobs, co-working spaces, and a flow of young professionals and young families who want walkability without paying the North Scottsdale prices. This area is also insanely bikeable. The Indian Bend Wash Greenbelt runs right through this area. 11 miles of trails, lakes, parks, and even a skate park. And the locals here are fiercely proud of their food scene. You've got everything from divey taco joints to vegan sushi to cocktail bars that would be overpriced in LA, but are somehow affordable here. South Scottsdale is definitely for those people who want to live near the action, but not in the chaos. You've got access to the 101 and the 202, which makes commuting anywhere in the valley really manageable. Now, the myth here is that South Scottsdale is just the party scene. The reality? It's one of the most livable, versatile neighborhoods in the Phoenix Metro. Now let's head up to North Scottsdale, where the myth completely flips. People think it's all cookie-cutter McMansions and golf resorts. The truth? It's where lifestyle gets dialed in. It's not cheap, but it's not soulless either. Now, North Scottsdale covers a really big area. It stretches from roughly Shea Boulevard all the way up to Carefree Highway, and that's a lot of ground, and the vibe changes drastically depending on where you are. Closer to Shea, you're gonna find more established neighborhoods like McCormick Ranch and Scottsdale Ranch. Think tree-lined streets, community lakes, and homes built in the 1980s and 90s that often hover around $900,000 to $1.5 million. Head further north into McDowell Mountain Ranch, DC Ranch, and Troon, and now you're in newer master plan communities with a resort level polish. The architecture gets sleeker, the mountain views more dramatic, and the HOAs, well, they can get a little more expensive, but you're also often getting gated communities, golf, community centers, top-rated schools, and trail access that is second to none. If you are into outdoor living, North Scottsdale is unbeatable. Gateway Trailhead, Pinnacle Peak, Tom's Thumb, Brown's Ranch, these are all hikers' dreams. Home prices? You'll find condos in the 500,000s, townhomes starting in the 700,000s, and single-family homes, some starting in the 900s, majority starting at about $1 million too, and they just go up from there. But what sets it apart isn't just the real estate, it's the calm. You've got clean streets, quiet neighborhoods, and no party carts in sight. North Scottsdale is for families, professionals, second homeowners, and people that want a lifestyle that feels curated without being over the top. Let's move over to Tempe now. Most people hear college town and think frat houses, game days, and cheap beer. But that is a shallow take on a city that has evolved really fast. Yes, ASU here is massive, but so is the tech corridor along Rio Salado Parkway. With companies like Amazon, State Farm, and DoorDash moving into sleek new buildings all overlooking Tempe Town Lake. The median home price in Tempe sits around $540,000 as of late 2025, but it varies wildly depending on where you're looking. High-rise condos near the lake can climb up to $700,000, while older ranch-style homes south of Broadway can still be found around $450,000. Then you have some of those older gated communities in Tempe that most don't even know exist. Homes there can be well over $2 million. Public transit is a game changer here. The light rail connects Tempe to Phoenix and Mesa, and the new streetcar system loops around downtown, making this one of the most walkable, car-optional zones in the valley. Now, Tempe's food scene is elite-level diverse. It's got Ethiopian cafes, Japanese bakeries, craft beer tap rooms, and everything in between. Plus, there is culture. The Tempe Center for the Arts sits right on the lake, and local events like the Tempe Festival of Arts draws crowds from across the state. It's also one of the most eco-conscious cities in Arizona. Solar panels, bike lanes, and green building initiatives are everywhere. Tempe is ideal for those professionals that want urban living with character, or families who want access to cultural events, education, and job hubs, all in one place. Next up, we're going to look at Peoria, more specifically, North Peoria, because South Peoria and North Peoria might as well be two different cities. The myth here is it is all desert and drive-thrus, but North Peoria is booming, especially west of Lake Pleasant Parkway. This area is loaded with new construction. Master plan communities like Vistancia and Trilogy offer large homes, big lots, resort-style pools, hiking paths, and community centers that host everything from yoga to food truck Fridays. Now, the average home price in North Peoria sits around $580,000, but that number is climbing. Builders can't keep up with the demand here, especially for homes with mountain views or that multi-generational layout. Families are flocking here for highly rated public and charter schools, as well as all the jobs that are coming to this area. It's also got surprising charm with local breweries and family-run coffee shops that double as a co-working space. Plus, Lake Pleasant is practically in your backyard. Paddleboarding, boating, and even an occasional waterfront concert. These are all just minutes away. North Peoria is for buyers who want new, clean, spacious homes in communities that are still developing their identity, but already deliver a pretty amazing quality of life. Gilbert used to be farmland and faith, but now it's one of the most in-demand suburbs in the Phoenix area. Located southeast of Phoenix, Gilbert has grown fast, really fast. It now has a population of over 280,000 people, and it keeps climbing, but it has still managed to maintain its charm, especially in the Heritage District, which is Gilbert's downtown area, where food, culture, and community all intersect. Median home prices here as of late 2025 are around $670,000. That gets you a spacious 3 to 4 bedroom home, often in a well-maintained master plan community with great schools. And speaking of schools, Gilbert School District is consistently ranked one of the top in the state of Arizona. And if you're looking for charter schools, you've got options like American Leadership Academy or Charter One. But Gilbert isn't all about families and great schools. It also has a legitimate food and brewery scene, which makes the area feel more like a destination than a suburb. Then you have parks, splash pads, miles of trails, and an aggressive investment in bike lanes, as well as green spaces that make people love this city. It's safe, it's clean, and it's known for being well governed. Gilbert is a go-to for those people relocating who want stability, space, and a community that feels connected. Chandler doesn't get the hype of Scottsdale or the headlines of Gilbert, but that's exactly why it's worth looking at. It's home to over 280,000 people and is one of the most tech-driven cities in Arizona. Intel has a massive presence here with over 12,000 employees, and that drives demand for housing, infrastructure, and great schools. Median home prices here sit around $650,000 as of late 2025, but the value here is strong. You'll find 1990s and early 2000 homes with real backyards, community parks, and enough room to stretch out without HOA overreach. And downtown Chandler has an artsy, low-key vibe with murals, local breweries, jazz bars, and rotating events like the monthly art walk or the Chandler Chuckwagon Festival. The school options here are solid, and the commute times are better than you think, especially if you're working in the East Valley Tech Corridor. Chandler is where buyers who want function and not flash, and it's the kind of place you move to and stay for decades. Now let's take a look at Queen Creek. The myth that it's too far, too rural, and too slow. The reality? It's one of the fastest growing towns in the East Valley, and it's carving out a new identity. Queen Creek's population has doubled in the last 10 years, now nearing 80,000 people, and it is not stopping. New master plan communities like Meridian and Barney Farms are bringing buyers in who want space, quiet, and new construction, all at prices that beat much of the Phoenix metro area. The average home price is around $520,000, with many new builds in the $400,000 to $600,000 range, offering oversized lots, multi-generational layouts, and custom upgrades. Now, it still has a rural edge. Think horses, peach orchards, and open sky, but it also has massive shopping developments, breweries, and a growing food scene. And yes, there is still a working olive mill here, where you can go grab brunch. The schools here are newer, well-funded, and improving every year. Queen Creek is ideal for those families who want to put down roots, get more house for their money, and don't mind a little extra drive time in exchange for breathing room. And now let's address the myth that Phoenix has no culture. This one drives locals absolutely crazy, because while the city isn't New York or San Francisco, which many people like, it is not some beige cultural wasteland either. Let's start with Roosevelt Row. This is downtown Phoenix walkable art district. It's covered in rotating murals, filled with independent galleries, and monthly First Friday events that draw thousands. You'll see live music, food trucks, and vendors every single month. Then we have the Heard Museum, which is internationally known for its indigenous art and historic exhibits. And the Phoenix Art Museum has hosted everything from Frida Kahlo retrospectives to contemporary installations. Music? Check out venues like Crescent Ballroom and Valley Bar for local acts and underground tours. Then there's the MIM, the Musical Instrument Museum, which has one of the most impressive global instrument collections in the world. Yes, in Phoenix. Culturally rooted festivals are everywhere, like Dia de los Muertos at Steele Indian School Park, or the annual festival celebrating Japanese heritage. You also have public art everywhere, from giant suspended sculptures downtown to quirky installations along the canal and light rail. And let's not ignore food as a culture. Here you'll find James Beard nominated chefs, authentic Mexican street food, indigenous pop-ups, and even restaurants blending Korean, Hawaiian, and Sonoran influences all mixed together. So no, Phoenix isn't without culture. It's just less curated, less commercialized, and often right in front of you if you know where to look. Now, if you'd like to learn about all the things that people regret about moving here, you're gonna wanna watch this video. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.